welcome to Special Stage, where we are on the Isle of Man for round 2 of the Asphalt Rally Championship. Now, all of the top 3 from round 1 are here, but there's also plenty more here to challenge them on the Manx. With just 6 rounds in the championship this year and your best 5 scores counting at the end of the season, crews can hardly afford to miss a round. But that doesn't stop a few new faces joining us this time out. Last year's Manx winner Jason Pritchard is back. His engine not ready for the opening round, and previous contender and Manx rally winner Paul Bird is also back for round 2. Add those names to our round 1 podium finishers and this weekend looks set to be a great battle. Simon Major of course comes into this round with the lead in the championship after his round 1 win, but his lack of recent experience on the Isle of Man could play into the hands of second place Damian Cole. Although having never won this event himself, things were not going to be simple. So that's what we have in store for you this weekend, and as you can see behind me, it is very, very wet. Let's head over to the stages for all of the action from day 1. Day 1 and 6 stages lay in wait for the crews, including 2 long stages to finish the day. Paul Bird and Alid Davies take the early advantage here on day 1, opening out a small lead to start with, and extending that as the stages go on. 55 seconds at the end of day 1, with little more than a misted up screen to worry about. You've had a fairly good start to the event. You've been having some good battles out there.
Yeah, it's not been too bad. We've had a bit of misting up problems, so it's been going pretty good so far. So.
Anything to do tonight?
I don't know, I just need a good sleep.
Last year's winners Jason Pritchard and Phil Clarke were under no illusion that the result came off the back of a mistake by Bird, and they were in prime position once again. Second place for now, but the pair have been without working wipers for a few stages, so they certainly felt there was more to come on day 2. You've not had too bad an evening really, have you? Have you enjoyed it?
I've had a terrible evening. We haven't even got any wipers left on the car. So in the rain in the Isle of Man with no wipers, it's not fun.
I did hear that. Was that at the start of stage 5, was it?
Stage 3, halfway through Port Erin. The wipers just glided with one another and they've broken all the brackets underneath the bonnet. So we're having some shipped over tonight and hopefully we'll sort it then.
Damian Cole and Jack Morton start the day in 3rd, held up by a competitor in stage 5 and losing some time. The pair lie almost 2 minutes from the lead and just over a minute behind Pritchard. Having never won this round of the championship before, he would be keen to get a good result, but this was already a knockback the pair didn't need.
Right 2 over jump, continues, and right 2 over jump, into left 1 over jump, 70, left 1 opens, 200, flat crest, 130, right 2 tightens, 4 late, remember slippy, 100, left 1, 150, flat right, don't cut rocks, 100, flat crest into left 1, and long flat crest, 50, left 2.
I heard you had a bit of a problem out there with some traffic earlier on, stage 5 was it?
Yeah, caught Steve Simpson, took a minute out of him and then he didn't move over. He knew we were behind him, we had the flashing the lights, balked us for a whole lap, probably cost us a good half a minute I would have thought. We caught Graham Coffey just before, because we were on the second lap, Graham was on the first one, and in fairness to Graham, he pulled over straight away. He braked and pulled over and we went straight past him, right behind Steve Simpson, and then Steve wouldn't let us past. Very disappointed.
Are you happy with your pace and your performance though, apart from that?
Yep, it's all going well. Very, very difficult conditions tonight. It's so slippery. We've had a few moments breaking into chicanes and breaking downhill into tight corners where it's all gone quiet because the transmission's locked up. So it's made for a very interesting evening.
Simon Major and Jonathan Hawkins were not letting a lack of recent experience on the island slow them down. They end the first day in 4th place, although they were a little off the pace of those ahead. Understandably, of course, given the car also has a lack of development on these kind of stages.
We struggled quite a lot them last couple of stages there. The starter motor packed up 2 stages ago, so we're very, very conscious not to arrive at a corner too late and stalled the car. And there's a really nasty hairpin there, which we just cannot. This car hasn't got a handbrake release, so it's like a 3-point turn in there. So it's a case of getting through the stage, and then to top things off, our map light packed up right from the start. So John was pretty quick. He resorted into like a pen light, but it weren't the same. We just totally lost rhythm. So it was sort of driving on sight most of the time on that stage. So pretty glad to get through it, to be honest.
Yes, a good start to the event for Alex Laffey and John Connor sees them in 5th place at the end of day 1. A steady but good pace run through the first stage to ensure they make it to the end paid off. They avoid any drama and lie just 15 seconds behind Major at this stage. Alex, you seem to really be holding your own for those first 4 stages. I haven't seen any times for the last 2, but everyone's been saying how treacherous it's been.
Yeah, well, the first few were all right. They weren't too bad, but St Mark's had quite a bit of standing water. We caught like 4 cars all in a line, crawling behind each other. Finished right behind Indra, who started 2 minutes ahead of us. So, but yeah, I quite enjoy St Mark's, but that stage there is horrible. The splits, and when you go back around, it's a nightmare. So we just sort of coasted through there to try and get to the end of the day.
Steve Simpson and Patrick Walsh hadn't got off to the best of starts. Not helped with a spin on the Port Erin stage, they end day 1 in 6th place. But the times between the top 10 were quite big. They lie just over half a minute behind Laffey and a full 5 minutes with their lead.
Treacherous, absolutely treacherous, but we've got round. We'll see what tomorrow brings now, and that's it, you know.
Have you got any work to do on the car tonight?
No, everything seems okay, you know, so steady run, and we'll see how we go tomorrow.
David TINN and Giles Dykes had unfortunately missed the first round of the championship, so this weekend would be important for some points. A good start for the pair sees them lying in 7th place at the end of day 1, just 2.7 seconds behind Simpson. It's the first time I've spoken to you this season, I think.
It is, yeah, first time. We missed Epping. Unfortunately, my sponsor was ill on the Saturday evening, so I spent all night in the hospital with him in Carnarvon. So we missed the rally, but yeah, we're out today, having a great time. Giles and I are really enjoying it. Last stage was lethal, as usual, but no, it's all good.
Andrew Hockridge and Alid Edwards survive a scary moment in the final stage of the day when they lose control on a slippery patch of tarmac. But they get away with it and survive to get back to service at the end of the day in 8th overall and leading the way in the B12 class. I imagine you're probably going to say the same as everyone else.
Yes, I'm glad to be out of there. We had a massive moment in there, thought we were going over. But yeah, we're glad to be out of there. Glad to be going back to the finish tonight.
And looking forward to tomorrow's stages.
Yes, hopefully it's going to be a bit drier tomorrow. But yeah, daylight stages, looking forward to them.
David and Matthew White enjoyed a good end to last season and indeed a good start at round 1. They lead the way here on the opening day in the N4 class, as well as lie inside the top 10 in 9th overall.
We're doing all right actually. We had a puncture on stage 2, I think, which was a bit unsettling. We'd not got a. Well, we ended up running with a dry on the car rather than a wet. We took a lot of bales out in that last stage, and one of the chicanes, we just came into it. It's so slippy in there, it's like glass. But yeah, apart from that, really good fun, really enjoying it.
you look like you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, the last time I had this much fun, I got no clothes on.
And rounding out the top 10 at this stage with David Hardie and John McCulloch. The pair lying in 2nd place of the B13 class, usually a front runner, but with the change to B13 for Simon Major in that metro, the class wins would be a little harder this season. You look like you might have had a bit of an off though.
We did. Coming into the chicane at the split, we just were passengers with no chance of catching it, so we managed to hit the front and the back, so it straightened us up, so we managed to carry on.
Not too much damage, fingers crossed?
Fingers crossed, but we lost a bit of time and confidence, so we'll just have to pick it up again tomorrow morning.
I looked at some of the classes outside the top 10, and the Manx residents Timmy and Cleona Collins joined the championship this weekend. Not happy with things on the first day, catching cars and coming across people blocking the stage, the times were suffering. but the pair still managed to lie in 11th place for now and 2nd in the N4 class. Paul Evans and Den Golding make their 2nd visit to the Isle of Man and make a good start to the event in 12th overall. Lying 2nd in the B12 class, just less than a minute behind the class leader HOCKRIDGE. And 3rd in that B12 class, 2 places behind Evans in 14th overall, were Ian Kenvin and Philip Williams. Another crew to suffer a little with the screen missing up, but thankfully sorted in service before the final tricky stage of the day. Royston and Bridge Carey continue their assault on the championship this season and will be hoping for a better result than last time out. Going well so far in 15th overall and leading the way in the B11 class. And it will be 2nd in that B11 class for Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones. Lying just less than a minute behind Carey ahead, still plenty more stages to make a push on day 2. Richard Clue's return to the championship was going okay this season. With Carl Williamson alongside this weekend, the pair lie 3rd in the B13 class at this stage and in 18th overall. Campaigning the escort this season were Darren and Sue Underwood, ending day 1 in 22nd overall, as well as 3rd in the B11 class. Jim Sharp and Sasha Herriot round out the top of the N4 class, the Evo pair line 3rd in the class and in 25th overall on the results. David Earthy and Maria Rayner would have the benefit of being the only crew in the A6 class, but that doesn't guarantee a result. They first have to finish. Irish crew David Fleming and Kieran Doherty join the championship here this weekend and make a good start in the B10 class with the lead. But it wasn't plain sailing going out on intermediate tyres and underestimating the amount of water on the stages. Steve Brown and Paul Stringer were enjoying a good start in this season's new micro kit car, leading the way in the B9 class. 2nd in that class just behind Brown would be Ian and Mags Kelly. The pair suffering a big spin in stage 5, but thankfully getting away with minimal damage and a puncture. With David Fleming out in the B10 class lead, it would be up to Tom Middlemiss and Richard Stewart to take up 2nd place, a few minutes off the leaders at this stage. And rounding out the top of the results were Andrew Irving and Matty Daniels, 3rd in the B9 class for the pair at this stage. Unfortunately, day 1 would claim a number of crews. We sadly lose Simon Bowen and Richard Robinson when the gearbox fails on the Subaru in stage 6, after lying in 9th place up to that point. And we would also lose Bob Fowden and Ashley Trimble to the same fate, their gearbox failing in stage 5. Rob Tout and Dylan James would suffer a similar fate. For them, it would be transmission failure in stage 5. So with day 1 complete, here's a reminder of the overall results. Paul Bird takes that early lead with Jason Pritchard overcoming his problems to lie 2nd. Battles forming elsewhere too in the classes. So that's it for the end of day 1. The Manx, as usual, claiming a few victims. The weather has not been kind to the teams, but we're hoping for much better weather tomorrow. On to the day's first couple of stages, including part of the TT circuit at Ramsey. No change at the top of the results as day 1 leaders Paul Bird and Alid Davies continue to lead the way. But the times were changing. The lead cut by around 10 seconds now, down to 46 seconds. The reason for the change in that advantage would be a push for Jason Pritchard and Phil Clarke. The change in the weather this morning means that the problems with the wipers were yesterday's news, and they were able to push this morning and close up the gap a little.
One left max over crest, 120 again. The Care middle small flat crest, 60 middle crest again, 2 left max, 80, line into 2 right max, 100, 1 left max, 80, 2 left fast by the stumps, 50, 1 left short max, 70, small crest, 50, 3 right minus, don't cut, and 3 left plus, 80, 80, one right half long and one left short, 50, line into two right max, 30, lefty shove flat crest 60, three left plus don't cut 100, line into four left plus don't cut 50, line into four right plus 80, care middle bridge four left plus 100, line into four right plus back.
No advance of the results for Damien Cole and Jack Morton. They remain in third overall, quite some way ahead of any charge from behind, but still almost a minute and a half from Pritchard ahead. With the top three off in a battle of their own, it would be up to Simon Major and Jonathan Hawkins to lead the way in the rest of the cruise. Unfortunately for them, things were very close. Only a handful of seconds separating the next three places, meaning a good battle would be on for the remaining stages of the day. The pair still leading the way in the B13 class. Alex Laffey and John Connor would remain in the middle of that three-way battle, chasing Major and lying just 15 seconds behind the Metro pair, third in the B14 class as well. And for Steve Simpson and Patrick Walsh, it would be sixth overall, getting in on that close battle just 19 seconds behind Laffey after stage 8. David TINN and Giles Dykes continue their good run to remain in 7th overall. The Proton pair out in their first championship outing this season, so the points this weekend would be welcomed. With Major still out ahead in the B13 class, it would be second place still for David Hardie and John McCulloch. Nigel Warsick and Paula Swinscombe move up into our top 10 on day 2. Unfortunately, the pair might be moving the right way, but not without problems. An anti-roll bar breaking on the car and causing some loss of pace, but at least it was a bit better than the loss of clutch the pair suffered on day 1. David and Matthew White unfortunately slipped down one place into 10th this morning, not that it made a difference to the class, still leading the N4 class at this stage. Andrew Hockridge and Aled Edwards would also slip down the overall results and end this morning's loop in 11th. The pair still lead the way in the B12 class, but things were getting close in that. They would still be chased by Paul Evans and Den Golding, the second in-class pair happy to be there should anything happen ahead. Timmy and Cleona Collins have a better run on day 2, uninterrupted on the stages, and the pair remain second in the N4 class and lying 13th overall in that Evo 10. Ian Kenvin and Philip Williams would be one of many who would be glad for the drying conditions. They remain in the B12 fight overall with third in class. The B13 class wouldn't change much either, with Richard Clues and Carl Williamson still holding on to third in that class, lying in 16th overall. And just one place behind Clues on the overall results in 17th place were Royston and Bridge Carey. The pair still with a reasonable lead in that class, but they were far from able to relax yet. Carey couldn't relax because Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones were still keeping them in their sights, just 30 seconds behind. Darren and Sue Underwood would still be fighting with the escort on the rough Manx stages, but it was going okay still at this stage, remaining third in the B11 class and lying in 20th overall. No change in the final podium place in the N4 class, as Jim Sharp and Sasha Herriot maintain that place, still some way off the class frontrunners though. And of course still no change to the sole class A6 runners, David Earthy and Maria Rayner, keeping it tidy to remain in that place at 28th overall. The second outing in the new car was going much better for Steve Brown and Paul Stringer on day 2. They remain in a good position in the lead of the B9 class and in 31st overall. David Fleming and Kieran Doherty continue to lead the way in the B10 class, but that could have been different. They break a drive shaft in stage 8 and have to limp out of the stage and back to service with one-wheel drive. No more excitement for Ian and Manx Kelly. They keep things pointing in the right direction to remain second in the B9 class going into the day's first service. And still no change for Tom Middlemiss and Richard Stewart, remaining second in the B10 class and lying in 37th overall now. And in 38th overall, it would be Andrew Irving and Matty Daniels, continuing to round out the B9 class in the Peugeot. Unfortunately, we lose Mark Jasper and Don Wyatt in stage 8 after an endless list of problems, eventually stopping when the clutch overheated on the Escort. They would surely be glad to see the back of the event and move on to the ALMC in July. And unfortunately, this would be the last time we see Kev Monaghan and Chris Purvis, the drive shaft failing on the Escort in stage 7. So with the first of the day's stage out of the way, here's a reminder of the overall results. Paul Bird still leads the way with Jason Pritchard closing in. Damian Cole and Simon Major remain in a good position to strengthen their championships. The pace at the top of the Asphalt Championship has always been fast and close, and drivers can compete over many miles and be separated by only fractions of a second. It only takes a simple mistake for results to change. Just take a look at this comparison between leading crews Jason Pritchard and Damian Cole, both in similar cars and both very evenly matched. The pair finished the stage on identical times overall, but that could have been a lot different had it not been for a mistake by Pritchard mid-stage.
Middle crest, 2 right, half long, max, right over 50, 1 right, 50 slowing, mid crest 40, tidy 9 left, narrow, tidy 9 left, narrow, 120. Small crest, 4 right, 4 right, right over 30, tightens to care, 6 right, don't cut, 6 right, don't cut. Left over 60, into middle flat crest, and 1 right over crest, into care, water, 30, 3 left minus half long, tightens, 2 right, don't cut, 30, keep left over grid, 30, care, 1 left, 1 right minus, into 2 left, 20, 9 right over junction, 20. Line into 12 left plus, 80, line into 5 right plus fast, 60, line into 3 left short max, 80, 1 right short, 80, left entry chicane, 80, line into 4 right plus half long, and 5 left, 150 down, 5 left, 150 down, 6 left plus half long, 50, 50, line into 4 left plus half long fast, right over 50, 100, 100, line into 3 left plus half long, 100 slowing, 2 left half long, 30, 12 right, 2 left half long, 30, 12 right, 100, 2 left half long, over finish, 20, line into 5 right left plus, you got it, well done.
On to the middle loop of stages 4 in total, including the 2 longest of the day. There will be major change in the results in this loop as we lose event leaders Paul Bird and Aled Davies. They get a puncture on the focus and are unable to change it in the stage and are forced to retire. So that of course means that Jason Pritchard and Phil Clarke step up to take the rally lead and get themselves 1 step closer to making it 2 wins in a row. All they have to do is hold that for the final 2 stages.
4 left tightens, 4 left tightens, right over 60, right over 60, 1 left don't cut and 1 right over crest, 30, 1 left and 2 right, 20, 2 right minus it, crest, 2 right, 30, crest, slippy, 4 left plus sharp, don't cut, 100, goes right over 100, and then rightish over small crest, care, 30, 2 left half long over don't cut by the house, 20, right care, rightish over crest, don't cut, 100, down to 1 left, then 40, 2 right, 30, 3 left plus short, 100, slippy on, 1 left and small crest, 30, 3 right plus, 60, 2 left, 30, line into 3 right minus,
Yeah, it's not too bad. We've got some wipers on the car now, but the sun's come out. No, so it's a bit tricky. It's still a bit of wet patches, so we're just taking it cautious because you don't want to come around the corner and hit a big puddle. So just using my head and then in the comfort zone.
And I know you said yesterday you didn't think it had gone very well, but despite not having any window wipes and all that rain, you did finish pretty good.
Yeah, you know, it's just a shock. Sometimes you think you're having a bad day, but the times are still there. So, you know, it's what if what could have been, you know, if we had wipers, but I might have gone quicker without them.
It's a promotion up the results for everyone behind two, as Damien Cole and Jack Mawson move up to second place, and in fact close the gap a little on the new rally leaders. But with only 2 stages remaining, it was going to take a problem up ahead to change the results. How's it all going for you today? A bit better than last night?
Yeah, really good. It's obviously a bit easier when the roads are dry, and it's a beautiful day again now. And we had a big push on the last 2 stages. We're sort of finally gelling together in the car, and it's making a big difference now.
It will be all change in the battle further down the results, as Stephen Simpson and Patrick Walsh jump up a few places to pass Major and Laffey on the results and end this morning in third.
And 5 right long in the tightens, into 5 left, into flat 5 left, and flat 2 right ins, 300 up mid, all the way now, all the way up, all the way up to the top, fast 3 right, and a bit more, 4 left, 5 right, into 6 left, 40, 1 left 40, flat 2 left long, into 1 right, 80, 3 left, into 5 right cuts, 60 up mid, stay mid through gates, and 5 right long, 6 left, 5 right long, 6 left, 40 up mid, 5 left tightens, into 6 left long, into 6 right, 40, caution 2 right and narrow 6 left long, barrier inside.
You guys are right up there. You've got a bit of battle on your hands, haven't you, for the last 2 stages?
Yeah, we've got a bit of better day today, so obviously it's drier and it's light as well, so we can see, so no, it's good.
So for Simon Major and Jonathan Hawkins, there actually wouldn't be any change in the overall results. They remain in 4th after everyone moves up and they drop down a place. They remain in the lead of the B13 class and only 14 seconds behind Simpson for the podium places. Are you enjoying it out there?
A lot better today, yeah. Last night was a bit of a nightmare. I say we lost the map light for that long stage and we dropped quite a bit of time, so it's just a case of trying to get through it and be here today. So yeah, I feel a lot better. Obviously the car is still very bumpy, you know, so we're struggling a little bit to carry the speed, but you know, it is what it is. We're enjoying it a bit more today.
And for Alex Laffey and John Connor, it would still be that place behind Major, but things were even closer. 12 seconds separating the pair now, so a push would be on in the final stages of the event to sort this 3-way battle out. Alex, you were one of the few drivers who was all smiles last night. How are you finding it today?
Yeah, it's brilliant today. Look, the sun's out. There's not much water on the road, so it's all good. We're all on slicks. It's lots of fun now.
Are you going to really push on in those last 2 stages?
Well, we've got to. We've been close with Major and Simpson all afternoon, so it's try and get in front of both of them, but it's going to be hard. Simpson's on a real push, so.
David TINN and Giles Dykes take advantage of the loss of Bird to move up a place into 6th now. If they could hold on to that for 2 more stages, it would be a great start to the season campaign. Well, we've got lovely sunshine, so I'm quite happy. I don't know about you.
Beautiful. We've got no slippy roads anymore. It's absolutely wonderful. It's a different island today. Looks all different.
Are you enjoying it as much in the dry or more?
Oh, you always enjoy it more in the dry. You can push the car a bit more and know you're not going to get bitten. So, yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
And your times are pretty good. You're quite well up there.
Yeah, we're up there, but we've got a little problem which we need to sort out. Hopefully it will last the day.
And for David Hardie and John McCulloch, it would still be 2nd in the B13 class and taking 7th in the overall places now. I think today it's a different island to what it was last night.
Well, completely. Last night was just a bit of a blur, but this morning's been great fun. stages have been good and nice and dry, so it's been good.
So you're definitely enjoying the dry stages rather than the dark, wet ones?
Very much. Last night I just about can't remember. Maybe want to forget.
David and Matthew White move back up the results to end this loop in 8th, and of course still hold a good lead in that N4 class battle. Looking good for a repeat of the class victory this weekend. How have you been enjoying it today?
Yeah, it's really good. Now the stages are drying out, it's a lot faster. Getting into a groove with the stage has been repeated now, so we're getting into the groove a little bit more. The notes are working fine. It's all good.
Did you come out on the right tyres?
Yes, we did. We went for a soft slick, and that seems to have worked well. And I think it's going to stay like that for the rest of the rally, really.
Sadly, we would lose Nigel Warswick and Paula Swinscoe. Clutch would give up on stage 11, and the pair would unfortunately have to call it a day. Andrew Hockridge and Aled Edwards continue to lead the way in the B12 class and light in 9th overall now. The Citroen crew feeling much better in the car now that it was dry and able to push properly again. You look a lot happier than you did last night.
Yeah, it's a bit happier this morning. Although this last loop we come out on the wrong tyre choice, so we've lost quite a bit of time in this last loop, but we're here.
I guess there was still a fair amount of standing water earlier on in the day.
Yeah, there was a lot of standing water on the first 2 this morning, but this last 4 have really dried out, and we chose to come out on inters and wrong tyre choice, but we're here, so.
Go get your slicks on for the last 2.
I will do.
This loop of stage we will see a move into the top 10 for John Indry and Peter James. A disastrous start in the rain caused them to be way off the pace, but they were putting in some good times now to light in 10th and taking 2nd in the class at this stage. How's it been going for you today out there?
It's better, obviously. It was horrible this morning because it's still just cold and wet. We just same old, can't get heat in the tyres, but we're a bit more racy now. We're catching cars back here, you know, which is a bit of excitement for everyone. So we'll see where we are, and we'll keep going and just get some championship points, basically. If we haven't crashed it so far, it'd be nice to carry on with that programme. I'm going to try not to run you over this time.
Thank you. Sadly, the move back up the results for Indry means a move down the class positions for Paul Evans and Den Golding. Forced to move down to 3rd in the class, but they remain in a good position overall with 11th. Richard Clues and Carl Williamson remain in 3rd place in the B13 class. Things seem to be going okay for the pair on these stages, and they end this loop in 12th overall. Royston and Bridge Carey continue their good run to end this loop still in the lead of the B11 class. Things were certainly going better than round 1, and this was looking like some good points for the weekend. There wouldn't be any change for Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones. They remain 2nd in that class, unable to make any time on the class leaders, but not losing any either. And no change for 3rd in that B11 class, as Darren and Sue Underwood remain in that place in the escort, moving up the overall results to 18th overall. Timmy and Cleona Collins slipped down the overall results a little in these stages, down to 20th overall, but the pair remain 2nd in the N4 class at this stage. And it will be 3rd in the N4 class still for Jim Sharp and Sasha Herriott, lying just a few places behind Collins in 24th place. No drama for David Earthy and Maria Rayner as they look set to take the A6 points here this weekend. Stephen Brown and Paul Stringer keep up their good pace on day 2 as they remain in the lead of the B9 class. The car working well out of the box and looking good for the rest of the season. With the drive shaft in place, it will be back to setting some good times for David Fleming and Kieran Doherty in the Civic, leading the way still in the B10 class and improving the times as the day goes on. Ian and Mags Kelly get through this loop without any problems too. A steady run for the pair, looking to ensure they finish with this result. And rounding out the class results will be Tom Middlemiss and Richard Stewart. So with just 2 stages remaining, it's all change at the top. Jason Pritchard looking set to take the win once again, with Damien Cole and Simon Major still looking to pick up those championship points. So the sun is now shining here on the Isle of Man, and there is plenty more action to come. Join us after the break. On to the final stages of the event, and just 60 miles to try and change their results. Of the finishers, it would be 33rd overall for Tom Middlemiss and Richard Stewart, the pair holding on to that second in Class B10 that they held all day. Ian and Max Kelly have a good steady run on day 2 and end the event with second in the B9 class, taking 32nd overall in the process. But the B9 class this weekend belonged to Steve Brown and Paul Stringer. The pair dominated in that class right through the event to take maximum class points away from round 2. David Fleming and Kieran Doherty make the best possible start to his first outing in the championship, holding on to the B10 class lead the entire event despite a few problems along the way. A great start to the season. 26th would be where Jim Sharp and Sasha Herriott finished this weekend, taking 3rd in the N4 class just as they had been all day in that Evo. David Earthy and Maria Rayner keep out of trouble all weekend and take the points in the A6 class, the pair finishing in 24th overall in the C2. Timmy and Cleona Collins' debut in the championship didn't quite go to plan, a little further down the overall results than they would have hoped in 20th, but it was still a second in-class finish for the pair in the N4 class. Darren and Sue Underwood get some points on board this weekend, with a 3rd in-class finish, the B11 class seeming a little harder to compete with this season, the new car of course needing some getting used to and development. Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones would be the ones beating the Underwoods to some places in the B11 class, finishing the event with 2nd in that class and 15th on the overall results. Royston and Bridge Carey have a successful visit to the island to bag themselves a great class win in the B11 class. Some great stage times all weekend, also putting the pair in 14th overall. Luckily for Ian Kenvin and Philip Williams, they managed to get themselves back on the podium places in Class 12 in the final stages. And for Paul Evans and Den Golding, it would be a move back to 2nd in that class, a great result this weekend and finishing a little outside the top 10 in 12th overall. The reason for the changes in the B12 class will be the loss of John Indry from the results. Sadly, after the climb back up into the top 10, he would be hit with an exclusion from the event under a driving standards regulation. Richard Clues and Carl Williamson have a great weekend, climbing the results to end the event in 11th place. A good overall result, but sadly unable to better their 3rd in Class B13 at the end of the event. After a disastrous start to the event, crashing the car in the wet stages on Friday evening, Graham Coffey and Tom Woodburn would eventually climb their way up the results into 10th overall. A good result considering the problems. Andrew Hockridge and Alice Edwards have a good run this weekend, finishing 1st at the front wheel drive cruise and of course taking the class win in the B12 class, a result that also sees them finish in 9th overall. David and Matthew White add another maximum time to their points total, putting them in a great position for the N4 championship title again. They end the event with a class win and 8th place overall. David Hardie and John McCulloch have a clean and trouble-free run this weekend to finish the event in 7th overall, and with it they take 2nd in the B13 class, a good result this weekend for the pair. David Tinn and Giles Dykes get their season off to a late but fantastic start, with 6th overall here at round 2, seemingly not troubled by the slippery conditions that caught others out. The pair start the season as they mean to go on. Unfortunately for Alex Laffey and John Connor, the close battle wouldn't go their way this weekend. They finish in 5th place and miss out on 4th by just 1.6 seconds. And for Simon Major and Jonathan Hawkins, it would be 4th. It wasn't the repeat of the win from round 1, but that was understandable given the lack of recent experience on the event. The result does keep Major on the top of the championship standings after round 2. After a bit of a slow start, it would be a podium place finish for Stephen Simpson and Patrick Walsh here at round 2. Some much needed points on the board after the non-finish from round 1, and with 5 scores to count this year, the pair really couldn't afford any more non-finishes. Sadly for Damien Cole and Jack Morton, the win wasn't to be once again. 2nd place this weekend, but the pair take some good points away, and equal the points for Major at the top of the standings. The pair also take the win in the Mixed Surface Challenge element of the event, which you can see coverage of in a few days' time on our extra show.
Left 4 minus. 80, flat right, 150, 1 flat left, 40, right 1, left 2. 40, right 3. Line 60, left 3, over crest tightens and narrows. Right 2, 100. Flat right opens, 130. Right 2, wall outside. 200. Flat crest and flat right.
So that means that taking the win for the second year in a row are Jason Pritchard and Phil Clarke. The pair have a great run all weekend and take the win by almost a minute.
Mid crest, 2 left max, 60, middle flat crest jump, slippy on, 100, 1 right half long, tightens and narrows to 2 right half long, tightens, and 1 left, 150, line into 4 right plus fast, 40, 2 left half long fast, 70, 70, 1 right, 40, line into 4 right plus, tightens, and 1 left max, 140. 1 left max, 140, line into 3 left plus, tar change, 120. 120 out of this, slippy line into 6 right plus, into 2 left half long max. 2 left half long max, into 2 left short max, don't cut, 50. 3 right plus, don't cut, 40. 1 left max over finish, 50. 1 right max, and you're through. Well done. Well done, well driven again. Sorry, I was a tad behind you, please.
So before we chat to the winners, here's a reminder of how the overall results were decided. Congratulations, that's 2 years in a row you've won this event.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise, but one I'll take.
Especially after last night when you said you'd done awfully and you had no window wipers.
Yeah, especially in the rain, you know, it wasn't very good. We lost so much time, but compared to everyone else, our times were still good. It's just a shame what happened with Paul Bird, but you know, it could happen to any of us. And that last stage, I just totally backed off. Any little stone, broken tarmac, I just avoided it as much as I could.
Took it as a warning.
Yeah, no, it was a comfort zone this afternoon once that happened, and get her home in one piece.
And what are your plans for the rest of the year?
I don't know yet. I'll have to talk to Mum and Dad tonight, but we might do a couple more rounds as we registered and got a win, so it's a shame not to use the car. So I'd like to do a couple of rounds.
Congratulations, Damien. Some more good points in the bag for the Asphalt Championship.
Yeah, really good day today. It was a bit difficult last night after being held up on stage 5. Lost a lot of time, and then this morning we've had some fastest stage times. And all day today the weather's been much nicer, conditions are a lot easier, and we've got on with it today and come up to second overall.
The results this weekend mean a few changes in the championship standings. Jason Pritchard's win puts him on there, but in 9th place. And the 4th place this weekend is enough to keep Simon Major at the top, but only on a tie break with Damien Cole at this stage. So that brings us to the end of round 2 of the Asphalt Rally Championship. Jason Pritchard takes the win and Damien Cole secures 2nd place. Join us next time for all of the action from Ireland.
TINN, and 6 right continues over Clay.